Awakened Radio Network is the information station for awakened people who live awake, aware, alert, and create consciously. Join us in the live chat room at awakenedradio.net/live chat room. Take part in our creation through our forums, chat, and calling in on our live shows. Check out our services tab at awakenedradio.net. Right up under the banner, click where it says services. You can find out how to host your own show on our network. You can also find out about delivering your empowerment message to our global listeners. There's also information there on how to advertise on the Awakened Radio Network. Are you ready to host your show with the Awakened Radio Network? Our station is dedicated to helping you share your message with our global audience. Visit awakenedradio.net, look under Service tab at the top of the page for more information, and you can also add Awakened Radio to your Skype contact and talk with Donna Devane about being an Awakened Radio host. Thank you for your love and support of the Awakened Radio Network. Your donations and purchases from our Awakened store help us to stay on the air and grow as we reach the globe with the message of personal empowerment. Visit us today at awakenedradio.net to be part of this creation of awesomeness.
Hello and welcome to Evolutionary Women Radio Show with Pernilla Lillerose, where authentic feminine power is making a difference in the world. Hello everyone and welcome to Evolutionary Women Radio. This is your host, Pernilla Lillerose, and happy Tuesday morning here in California. Thank you for listening in and showing up. If any of you are already in the chat room, I would really invite you and encourage you to chat in a little bit. Send a little hello or send a little message. Share yourself a little bit about what's going on. If you're not in the chat room, you can just click on the chat room, live chat room on the radio tab, and then you'll get right in there. And it's more, it brings more aliveness to it when you're in there and share a little bit. And I have not quite mastered to read and write and talk on the radio show all at once. I don't know how the other hosts do it, but if you chat in, then Donna will pass it on to me and let me know. So please share yourself. Let's connect. The whole reason for me doing this show actually is very much about connecting with you, with each other, with ourselves inside. It's very much about connection, and getting out of the isolation and overwhelm that we have been finding ourselves in for way too long. So please share yourself in the chat room. It's safe. There's no trolls. There's no, we don't allow trolls. I think I've said that before. We only allow love and good energy in there. So if you feel moved to share, you can share anonymously. You can share with your name. Either one is fine. Do whatever feels comfortable for you. If you haven't done it before, just feel your way into it and just let yourself crawl out of the little box of isolation and safety and, take a little risk and just say hello. It will be okay. There's another way you can connect if you have anything you would like to share later on a little bit. If you have a question, you can just call in, and that number is 334-649-7204. You're all welcome here. I would love, love, love to connect with you. So if you are tuning in through your iPhone, then you can still call in, but you might be careful if you are driving to start dialing in. But enjoy the show and connect with me one way or another. You can connect with me after the show if you want to by going to my website, which is lilarose.com or evolutionarywomenradio.com or womenstandingforlove.com. I can repeat those later so you know. But there's many ways to connect with me and stay connected so we can start creating the world that we all long for. And we have to remember why we are here. Why are we listening in today? It's not just for entertainment. It's because we have something in our heart that wants to express itself in whatever way that is for you right now. Maybe it's just to tend to the little things in life. Maybe it's just to go out and spend more time in your garden or in nature, with the trees, with the beautiful little flowers that are popping up everywhere in this spring. Or maybe you have something much bigger inside of you where you really want to make a difference in the world. And we all have something to express. We all have something in us that's going to make the picture whole in this situation, in this dimension that we're finding ourselves. So what really inspires me is to inspire you to find inside of you what makes you come alive, what inspires you, what makes you happy and joyful, what makes you resonate with something bigger than what you think you are. It's an energy. It's all about energy. It's an energy that we tap into inside of ourselves or outside of ourselves. Something that makes us feel more alive. Something that makes us want to contribute or make a difference in the world. And this is what I love to help any of you connect with. It's essential in my book that we connect with that if we want to live differently than we are now. Now, if you feel content with your life right now, that's beautiful. And I celebrate you. You feel you're on track, in resonance with what you want to do. That's beautiful. Because when we are in full alignment with ourselves and in full resonance with the vision or our longing in the heart, then we are at one with ourselves. We are at one with the divine that we are. And then we move as one. We move into the world without conflict. So we don't bring conflict to the world. We actually bring the oneness and the solution to the world. So it's always essential to start finding that inside of yourself first by listening to your heart. And those of you who know me and who have listened in before know that I don't think there's ever going to be a radio show or a talk that I'm involved in where I'm not going to talk about your heart and the importance of connecting with your heart and learning to listen to your heart and learning to trust your heart. In your heart, you will find the solutions. What I notice though, and this includes myself, it's taken me a while. It's taken me years to get to the point where I am fully trusting my heart. I'm fully trusting my intuition. And sometimes there is still doubt, but I know that I can go and get support if I need that to get back in resonance with my heart, what my vision is, what it feels like that brings me alive and what I came here for. So what I keep seeing is that so many of us know that the world we live in today is not ideal. I know I don't need to get into details because you just need to watch the news or read the newspaper and excuse me, and you'll see that everything is completely out of alignment, and it's because we have left this place inside of ourselves that knows. And we may have left it, or we may just have turned away from it, turned a deaf ear to it, because it seems like there is something out there that we need that will make us happy, or even just make us able to survive. And since I started putting out my vision, when I really got in touch with it inside, I've been sharing it here on this radio show for many, many months, and it keeps growing, and I keep putting it out there. I started this gathering called Women Standing for Love, and we've had several meetings. But something very beautiful started happening only about 1 or 2 weeks ago, because I have been putting it out. I've been putting it out on Facebook, on my e-zine, on flyers around town, in the local newspaper. So it's becoming more visible, and it's a little scary in the beginning when you put yourself out so visibly. But what happened one day was that there was this lovely woman who had been to one of the gatherings. She called me and she wanted to connect some more. So we got together and we talked. And there was this deep resonance, and we had the same vision. So now we're connecting. It feels like our pieces are fitting. There is a part of each of our puzzle piece that fits into each other, because when we get together, more energy is generated, more inspiration happens. And then a few days later, I got an email from somebody else who had seen me on the flyers or on the meetup group or somewhere, and we connected and we talked for quite a while. We got together, and again, deep, deep connection where something happens. The inspiration that we already have can start growing and expanding, because now we get together and we bring both our inspiration and energy together, and it grows exponentially. It doesn't just get twice as big, it gets a lot bigger. So I wanted to share what happened after I had these 2 meetings, because we inspire each other and we see things that we may not have seen before, or we start seeing them in a different way, new angle, more expansive way. It felt like my vision again went to a new level. And the vision that I had originally was get women together, get in smaller circles with our same vision, so we can start sharing and start making a difference in our community. And that is slowly happening. But what seems to be happening is that the pieces of my puzzle are coming together, so that the core group, there's a more solidity in the core group now, because I'm not on my own. And by sharing with each other, I'm starting to see something that I actually didn't see before. And that is that basically that we are building our lives around money. And it's not that this is new to me, because it's pretty obvious, but I haven't been as conscious of it as I am now, which is just a week or 2 after I met with these 2 lovely women, because they had some visions and they had some ways of seeing this that just opened it up more for me. So since I really started looking at that our society, our community, our world, our planet, no, not the whole planet, luckily not everyone, but so many of us, the majority, our lives are centered around money. When I really started seeing that, I started noticing that whoever I was with the somehow money or making money or not having money or not having enough money or trying to manipulate life so that you will have money, there was always an element of money and survival in it. And money and survival, I'm seeing, are very closely connected. Even those who have a lot of money, there is still survival issues in it. There's other things too. I'm not trying to let you know, pretend that I know everything about money and things like that. But when you suddenly start seeing something bigger than you did before, it's like, oh my gosh, how did I miss that? So here I'm out with some friends and I'm just sitting listening, and it is just about money, how to make money. I'm tired of my job, but I don't know how to shift because I need to make money. Or, we talked about, medical and dental things, we need to go to Thailand or to Tijuana or places where it's cheaper to have your medical work done. So all of it is about money. Our health depends on our money. Our survival depends on money. And it was just fascinating to see that common thread in everything we do. Now, everything, of course, it's not true. I'm out in my garden and I grow my own vegetables, and that's not about money. It's pure enjoyment and really what brings joy to my heart. And I know all of us have that. That is really when we tap into our creativity, because that gives us joy. That gives an expression of our heart, of our of what we came here for, of what really inspires us. Take a moment and just feel inside of you, what is it that really inspires you? And, I see there is here from Colin. Thank you so much, Colin. You say I'm hitting it on the head. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for sharing that. You know what? Just for you to share that with me, that gives me a spark of energy. It's just happening that way, guys. We just need to connect and inspire each other. So anyway, so here we are talking about money and the survival of money. And what we forget in that whole process is to trust what we really want deep in our heart and not put that aside in order to make money and survive. As long as we do that, all our energy is focused on survival and money. And unfortunately, that is what our society is revolving around. And if I would ask any of you who's listening in today, is that really what you want? Go and check with your heart. Do you want to live the rest of your life where everything is about making money and survival, and then maybe when you retire, maybe, right, things are different, maybe you will have enough money that you can stop being part of this silly game of survival and making money, and instead you can start listening to your heart and become more creative. Maybe you want to paint. Maybe you want to start a beautiful garden. Maybe you want to start a community garden to make sure that there's food for everyone. Maybe there's something in your heart that you know, like, oh my God, if I only had enough money and felt comfortable doing it, I would be doing this. This thing is what you came here for. It's not a mistake. You're not wrong. You're not lofty. You're not airy-fairy. I sometimes hear these things about myself when I start sharing, you're airy-fairy, you're lofty, and it used to confuse me. And I thought, oh, really? Is that not practical? But it's taken me a while to feel solid in myself and trust that the vision that I have is real, it's valid, and it just needs an expression, and I don't need to do it on my own. So here's what I want to propose to you. What if our society started revolving around caring for each other, taking care of each other? Making sure that if somebody was in need or in lack, that we would all be there to support each other. Just for a moment, feel that. Just imagine that this is possible. Doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that make you relax more? When I talked to these women about a week ago, and when that subject came up, I started realizing there was just something in me that just felt, oh, thank you. If that is actually something we can create, then we can all relax. And we don't need to be so focused on survival and taking care of ourselves, making sure that I'm taken care of and only I can do that. If we know that we really are there for each other, wouldn't that change everything? I know it sure would for me. And because of that, I feel a motivation and inspiration and energy inside of me to start taking the steps to create that. I do not have all the answers yet. But remember, when you have a vision coming through in your heart, you don't have all the steps. It starts with a vision. It starts with a feeling. It starts with an inspiration. And if you don't squash that right away because you might say, oh, I don't know how to do that. What are the steps? This will never be able to. I can never create this. If you do that, you squash the vision. Well, you can't really squash it because the vision is there, but you just cut yourself off from the vision. And you will not make yourself an outlet to create that. But I bet you, any of you who's on this radio show today, on this broadcast, if I would ask you, and actually I will ask you, and if you feel so moved, I want to invite you to chat, put it in the chat box, your answer, or call in and just share with me what it is for you, because then we get more connected and then it becomes more alive. If you had the choice, would you want to live in a community where we really take care of each other, where you didn't have to worry about your survival needs because we have each other? Would you want that? How does that feel? How does that make you feel? And I want to invite you to just kind of dip into that feeling a little bit and stay with that feeling, because the feeling, in the feeling itself, in that experience, that is where you will find the steps. But you need to stay with this kind of ephemeral, maybe not very practical at this point, vision that has a distinct feeling that usually makes you feel relaxed, expanded, warm, loving. And, here, thank you, Colin. Oh, thank you. Let's see. It's a desire to change your lifestyle and taking the action necessary to make it happen. Exactly. And you hit it right on the head, if I can use that right back at you. It is a desire to change your lifestyle. And that is where I see so many people get stuck, because there is a fear of changing your lifestyle. So thank you, Colin. You hit it right on. The fear of changing our lifestyle, our comfort zone, our safety and security and certainty, that is where most of us get stuck. And because we put our safety, security, certainty in our lifestyle at the forefront, we leave this sweet feeling that we feel in our heart when we tune into it And we never get the steps. And we never get to connect with the pieces that the people who have the same vision, because we are not making ourselves, we don't expose it, we don't share it with others. So, and that's why we think, oh, well, I'm the only one, and who's gonna support me or believe me, or who's gonna want the same. And that is exactly where I think it is so important that when I talk about women standing for love, and it is just as much men standing for love, trust me, we all need each other. So when men and women are willing to stand for love inside of themselves and stand for love for the vision in their heart and then share it with others, then something happens every single time. And that's what happened when, I met these two other pieces of the puzzle that fit mine very perfectly at this time. Then a new inspiration happens, and instead of thinking, oh, this seems too big and I can't do that, suddenly there's two more people to say, hey, I want that too, and we can make this happen. It just takes that whole doubt away. If I had any doubt, it's gone. If I had any overwhelm, it's gone. And what do you think takes its place? Inspiration, new ideas. New ideas came in. And then we share the new ideas that happen when we are together, and then the next thing happens. So this is how it works. And it always comes down to listening to your heart, start trusting it, and share it. Share it first with people you feel safe with. You can share it here on this radio show. It's very, very safe here. It really is. Share yourself. Let us know what you're about. Because if we all want to change our lifestyle from where we are overwhelmed, we overwork, the whole focus is about survival, make sure there's food on the table, make sure everybody has what they need, and then you're exhausted at the end of the day, so you don't have the time to either be creative with creating a new garden, or painting, or drawing, or singing, or dancing, whatever, or you can just squeeze it in under the term self-care. So I just have 1 hour of self-care twice a week, maybe, let's say. But the rest of my life is because I need to make money, because I need to survive. And in that, we keep a system alive that we are not in resonance with. So what I see needs to happen is that we consciously choose to change our lifestyle, and it can be a small thing to start with. Maybe take out 1 hour a week to either sit and write about what you think is possible for the world, what your heart knows is possible for the world, or get together with some friends and start talking about these same things that we're talking about right now, and bring out the energy. Start bringing it out so you don't feel alone with it. This is what I want to invite you to do. And we are just about to go on a break. Before we go on the break, I just want to invite you, if you want to connect more with me, please call in. That number is 334-649-7204. And please share yourself in the chat room, connect with me, and you can also go to my website. I have a few websites, but they're all under one. The main one is lillarose.com. That's my last name, spelled LILLAROSE.com. And under there, you can find Women Standing for Love and Evolutionary Women Radio. And for all the wonderful men who are on this show today, you are more than welcome to explore too, because it's not an exclusive club for women. It's simply because I am moved to support women to find this place in themselves and work through the barriers that I had to work through myself. And I think they're different between men and women, although there are also similarities. So having said that, my friends, we are going to go on a short break, and I look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Thank you for listening to the Awakened Radio Network. Visit our website at awakenedradio.net. Our broadcasts are brought to you in part by thebarefootguru.com, where you can discover the power of thrival in your life. Author, teacher, coach, and radio host Donna Devane invites you to create your dreams. Visit thebarefootguru.com today. At Awaken Radio Network, we bring you the how-to you've been asking about. Our hosts are top-notch teachers, authors, and life coaches who love sharing their messages with you, the listener. If you have a message you'd like to share on Awakened Radio, visit our website at awakenedradio.net. Look for the Services tab, then for Be a Host. At Awakened Radio to Skype to type Donna a message. Did you miss a broadcast? Check out Awaken Radio on iTunes. It's free to subscribe, download, and listen. The links to our archives are on our media page. Visit awakenedradio.net. Look around the website. Loads of information about our radio station there. Also, we are adding archive links to our forums and to the host page. So there's no reason for you to ever miss a broadcast again. Visit us at awakenradio.net and remember to check us out on iTunes.
Welcome back to Evolutionary Women Radio, where authentic feminine power is making a difference in the world. Thank you for joining and listening. This is your host, Pernilla Little-Rose, and this show is brought to you by Women Standing for Love. Welcome back. Yes, welcome back, my friends. Welcome back to Evolutionary Women Radio. And today we are talking about the possibility of letting go of a system that doesn't work for us and starting to create one that we all long for. What I have seen, and like Colin a moment ago just really nailed it there, it's the fear for most people to let go of their safe lifestyle. Many times if we are just getting by, or maybe, you know what, it's not about just getting by. Many times if we are doing pretty well, we feel, we can do everything we want and there's no problems, and that's great. And for some of you, you may actually live a lifestyle where you have enough time to do your creativity. You might have found a way where this is all possible and you're happy with your life, with what you do, your expression, the way you make an income. I think it's beautiful, and I wish that for all of us. But what about all of the people who are not living in that place, who really are struggling, who are barely getting by, and who have to work very hard to pay their monthly bills, and they keep having to cut off what they know in their heart really would be true and right for them. And then there's those who don't even have time, who don't even have the liberty to consider that question. What do I really want? For some people, that is not even on their radar because they are so focused on the system to survive, to make money, that they will never get out of it unless something happens where they are forced to look at their lives. And that is what is happening to a lot of people these days. Something happens, right? You lose your job, you get sick, something dramatic happens, and you really get to reevaluate your whole life. And I think that's a really good thing that's happening because it makes us aware that there is a vision in our hearts that wants something different. I'm moved to share a story with you right now. I was looking this morning in one of the books that I read it some years ago, and I couldn't find it. So I'm just going to try and paraphrase it to the best of my ability. It's in one of the books from Ringing Cedar series, if you have ever read those, with Anastasia, and it's written by Vladimir Megre. It's from Russia, but it's translated. And to me, those books are quite amazing. There's 9 of them, and they really shifted something in my life where I got into permaculture and sustainability. It really made me aware of a lot of things that I hadn't considered yet. But there's specifically one story that stands out for me, so I'll paraphrase it to the best of my ability. This specific story that she talks about is about a prison. And this is, many, many years ago. This is not like a current situation today. So all the prisoners were in the prison yard and the courtyard, and the director of the prison had heard a rumor that the prisoners were planning an escape. So he got curious and he dressed up as a prisoner and he went down into the courtyard and he was just kind of hanging out and trying to find out what they were talking about and how they were planning to do it. So when he found out, he left again and went into his position as the director or the manager or whatever of the prison. And then the next day he told all the prisoners that they were free to leave. And they were, of course, overjoyed. And then he said to them, and not only that, I will pay you 1 cent each for each load of, I think it was rocks. There were a lot of rocks in those days that needed to be moved from one place to the other, that they needed to use for maybe building or whatever. So, and remember, I'm paraphrasing, right? So you don't have the exact details. So he said, for every load of rocks that you bring to whatever place that he said, I will pay you 1 cent. And the prisoners were overjoyed. Not only were they free to go now, they also had a way to make money. So they got into this moving of rocks business, and they soon learned that if they could do 2 or 3 or maybe 10 loads of rocks a day, they would start making a lot of money. And you may already get the point of this story. Here these prisoners thought they were free, that they had their freedom, but they were just as enslaved, actually maybe even more enslaved now, to carrying rocks all day long in order to survive. Now, how does that relate to your life? How many rocks are you moving around in your life in order to pay your bills? How many heavy rocks that do not enrich your life or the world are you carrying around? So I think a lot of us, we think we are free and liberated because we have enough money. Either we have plenty of money or we have just enough money, but at least we have enough to survive and put food on the table for our family. But is that really being free? Is that really what we want? Is that real liberation? Now, of course, there is liberation inside of ourselves where we wake up to the true nature of who we are. Very important. And if we go back a few weeks here, I had a broadcast about how really to connect with who you are as I am. Who am I? And I think it's essential for us all to wake up to that. Because until we're woken up to that, we do walk around in the world as a false identity. We believe we are whatever name we give ourselves. We believe we are that, and that this separate identity needs to do things in order to survive. So again, so it's waking up to our true nature, but it's also waking up to the bondage that we are buying into in the world. And this is where the shift to move away from moving rocks around for a penny per load, or drop the rocks, take the chance, and start something new. Maybe you want to do 1 or 2 or 3 loads of rocks a day, so you have enough for your bills. But maybe you want to spend either the rest of your time or maybe just 1 hour a day to consider how you can start creating a life that is in resonance, that is in alignment with your heart. And hi, Teresa. I want to just say hello back to you. I'm so glad you're here. And if you have anything you want to share, you're always welcome. And that is for the rest of the listeners too. I'd love to hear from you and see if this resonates with you, right? So what if we started creating something in a time that we take specifically to do that? Because most of us, it's very easy to fill up our lives with busyness, and then we actually believe that what we are doing is really, really important. There are certain things that are important. I'm not saying that they're not, but what if we took time out with ourselves, with your family? You know, if you're married, if you have kids, get together with your family and start talking about, are we living our dream? How can we make a difference? How can we start creating something that brings in more of what is true for us? And it's not just to do it in our own lives. We need to get together with our community at large more and more, so we can start creating a foundation that is built on the values that we all want. To say that you don't have time, that means that you really are stuck in a system that you're not happy about. So just consider for a moment. Just consider one little thing. What could you do? Could you go to some meetings? Hey, if you live in Santa Cruz, could you come to the gathering we have once a month called Women Standing for Love, and let yourself be inspired by what other women have to say? And soon, hopefully, there will be a man standing for love and a men and women standing for love, so we can all do it together. And of course, it's just a matter of somebody taking the step and making that happen. And here, thank you, Colin. Yes, it is so easy to fill our life with busy things that distract from pursuit of our goals. And that's the problem, isn't it? We fill our life with busy things. What are your busy things? Just take a moment and consider that. What are the busy things? And I'm not just talking to you, Colin, just all the listeners. What are your busy things? What are the rocks? What rocks are you carrying around for a penny a day that keep you busy? And how can you create time in your over busy life to be part of creating a structure that is built on different values, such as we care for each other, right? If you know that if you let go of a few of the rock loads, if I can use that term, and that you can do that because you have a community of people to lean on who will take care of you. Let's say you run out of money, you don't have money for food for a few days. Could it be that there is a community garden that's happening that people are working on? Those who have extra time, for those of us who have made extra time in our life for these things to happen, we can start creating that so more and more people can join in and chip in and benefit from that. So what if you ran out of money And then you knew you could always come to the community garden, to maybe a community kitchen, because we are thinking about here to create a hub or a center where we are going to start creating what we want and start planting seeds of what we want for our community. And then more and more people will start turning towards those seeds as they start growing. You see, but it's because there are no real seeds in our society yet where we can go to, where we can get our sustenance, our safety, our food, the things that are essential for us. There isn't really a place. So it's not a mistake. It's obvious that we think we need to do it all on our own and that we are so focused on survival because it looks like there isn't really anything else to fall back on. And until we have something else to fall back on, we will continue to do the survival and money thing because that's all we know. So in this broadcast today, I'm hoping to plant some seeds in your consciousness of new possibilities. Let them, nurture them, water them, feed them with your time, with your attention, with your love, with your openness. Feed them. Feed your heart. Take half an hour every morning before you get out of bed and listen to your heart. Maybe your heart says, boy, I wish I could stay home today and just paint, or draw or sing or something. But here you are, you need to go to work because that's part of the system we're all stuck in. But do not squash your seed. Feed it. Honor it. You talk to that seed. You talk to that feeling. It's like, yeah, I really wish I could stay home and sing today. So then you start communicating with yourself and you start finding out, well, maybe I cannot do this today. Maybe that half hour where I was going to go, I don't know, to the gym, because I need to stay in shape, but I hate the gym. Maybe I'll go home and sing for half an hour because that really gives me joy. You see? So it's finding the places where we can take time out. And maybe we should stop going to certain meetings that are not really that important. We need to keep coming back to what makes us feel alive, what makes us feel happy and enlivened, and what vision do you see for your community? How can you maybe start creating something in your community? You can start a little meetup group in your town. Or you can put some flyers up in your area and say, hey, I have this vision. And then you write what your vision is. And I need other people with the same vision. Let's get together and let's talk. You see, and in you doing that, you're putting it out and there will be people who are going to be attracted to you. There will be people who will come to you. Maybe not the first day, but maybe on the first day, we don't know. But just keep putting it out there. And then when you get together with some other people with the same vision, you'll notice that there's an energy and an inspiration and possibility, right? Instead of feeling, oh, I can't do that, it's too much, I'm on my own, you start feeling, oh, we can do that. We can do that. But we need each other. Right? We need each other, not based on a need, where you feel like a victim or something. It's more like a need of just naturalness, that we depend on each other and that we take care of each other. I feel very, very inspired by all of this. Oh, let me just see. Here's more from Colin. Pernilla, doesn't this come about with a sense of self-worth and placing value of what makes you happy above the stuff you do for others? Oh, yes, my friend, that's for sure. A lot of it is about placing value of what really matters to you. And that's another thing that we all have bought into here in society, that what we know, what we feel, and what we want, and what makes us happy, that doesn't really count. Society is not built up around making us happy and fulfilled. It's made up to make us all dependent on dragging rocks around, right? So we are not in touch with our vision. So it's so true. But what are you going to do about it? How about starting a meetup or a meeting somewhere and say, hey, I have this thing. I want to learn to feel valued for what I want, what I love to do. Is there anybody out there who has the same vision? It's a matter of sharing it. And what happens is that these ideas that we have about ourselves or the world, they get debunked because we all realize, but you know what? That's not true. That can't be true. It cannot be true that this beautiful planet that we live on, that is just exploding right now with flowers and green and leaves and just everything is coming out so beautifully, showing itself, showing its beauty. It cannot be true that we as human beings are supposed to be dragging around rocks down here. And it's just, to me, when I really started seeing that, it's just no, there's something wrong. And then I go to my heart and ask my heart, well, what is right then? What is true? And then I see this beautiful planet where we are with each other. We do things together. We support each other. We build things together, not to make money, but because if we have this specific building together, we can do things together. And what we're thinking about here in Santa Cruz, or not just thinking about, what we're actually intending is to create a hub or a center where there is going to be room for all these new things that are coming in. There could be groups that want to start working on sustainable energy. There might be a lot of same people with that vision, but because they're not connected, they're not really making it happen. And then there might be a group that wants to make sure that there is water and food for everyone. So in this same center that we have in town, I'm just going to put it out there and speak about it as if it is already here, in that I'm also creating it. So here we have this beautiful center, and we have some land around it or very close by, and we have gardens, and we have rainwater catchment systems so that there is enough water for everyone and to water all the plants. There's people there who love to work in the gardens and who love to grow food and who really have learned how to do that. And then there's those who want to learn and who go there. So the food is grown there. So that could be another aspect of this big center that we're creating. And then there might be somebody who wants to work with healing and health, right? So there might be alternative healers. There might be the Western healers, just the regular doctors that we need to for many things. But there might be some of those who really say, you know what, I don't want to be a slave to money and the insurance system and all these things that make me charge such high prices. I want to support you guys. I want to be part of this. So I'm going to give my services here to all of us, but we all give to each other. And I know for a lot of people, it may seem like pie in the sky. And at this point, it is pie in the sky because it's not here yet. But the reason it's not here is because we have not started creating it yet. You see, it starts with you, and it starts with me, and it starts with us connecting and getting together to create what we know is possible, what makes our hearts sing.
It is possible. I can see it. I can feel it. It's a vision that came to me many years ago. Actually, when I was reading one of these books that I just mentioned by Vladimir Megre, Anastasia, when I read one of her books, one day the vision was in my heart. It was just there. It was not something I was making up. It was there. It was a real experience. It was a real feeling. And that's when I started realizing that we had given up our dream. We had given up our vision in order to buy into this, well, let's call it a nightmare. That our vision or our dream has kind of become a nightmare, where instead of living the joy, the love, the connection that we're living a nightmare because we're buying into something that's not true for us. So we're not here to make anybody wrong. We're not here to make the system wrong, to put anybody down. We have all bought into it, every single one of us. And I'm sure we've done it for a reason. It's a phase of evolution that we went through, but we don't have to do that anymore now. We can do it differently. And that's why I want to invite every single one of you to just look inside without judgment, without criticism, but just to see where have you bought into the system that you are aware of right now, and that you might just be able to shift just a little bit. Just a little bit. Maybe you can start growing a little garden somewhere, so at least you're not dependent on the system, but you can grow your own vegetables. I mean, this is just a little piece, right? Or maybe instead of paying money to something, whatever, you can start finding somebody who can share something with you, so you support each other and help each other. I'm just talking about starting to unplug one little thing at a time, if that's what's true for you. Or for some people, it may be unplugging big time, all at once. And, but that can only happen if that is absolute true and in resonance with you. And I'm just noticing we're almost at the top of the hour. Time goes so fast, especially when I get really inspired. So, my friends, this is so close to my heart, as you can probably hear. And I thank you so much for being here and for chatting in. Really, really enjoy the chats that have been coming in and the connection that we're making here. And I hope this is inspiring you to just start thinking a little differently about how you live your life, and just start seeing how much of your life revolves around money and survival. And if there's any little thing you can do to move in a different direction, and this direction is your heart. So if you would like to learn a little more about what I do, please go to my website. It is lillarose.com, and that is spelled LILLAROSE.com. Thank you, Colin. I think you're awesome too. Really, it's been so much fun here connecting with you. I'm so grateful you've been here. Really, truly. Thank you so much. And of course, we're all so awesome, especially when we get in touch with our hearts and start expressing what really matters to us. So please go to my website, lillarose.com. Join in. I have a Facebook page called Women Standing for Love, and everybody is invited to be there. Share yourself. And let's do what it takes to create the world we all long for, huh? Shall we do it? All right, my friends, thank you so much, and I'll be back next week, and I look forward to connecting with you again. Be well. Much love. Bye-bye.
Cause we're awakened, you won't catch us sleeping through the fight. And like we're all eyes open, showing our inside and light so bright. We are awakened, come and join our love, it's so right. If you could feel what we feel now, you'd be a leader filled with might. Cause we're awakened, you won't catch us sleeping through the fight. And like we're